come for the zombies, but stay for all of the amazing animal shots. I'm Jackie.
It's the Jack Hanna and George Romero Animal Kingdom and Zombie Apocalypse Variety Hour. I'm Justin.
On second thought, I'll have the soup. I'm Sam, and this is Hell of the Living Dead on Stinker Madness.
What's that smell?
I don't know about you, but I'm thirsty as fuck. Thirsty as fuck.
Hey, look at these!
Thrill me.
If you come back in here, I'm gonna hit you with so many rights, you're gonna beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Hey, look at these!
No more hangers!
It stinks.
Hangers!
Get to the chopper! Stinker Madness.
Hello and welcome to Stinker Madness, the podcast about bad movies and blah, blah, blah. Today we have got a movie from 1980 called Hell of the Living Dead, plus a plethora of other alternate titles. I don't know why the Italians do that so much. Directed by one Bruno Mattei on his 72nd appearance on the podcast. So, Sam, take over and tell us what the deal is here.
The real worth mentioning alternative title to this is Fatal Death. Which I'm sure that Steven Seagal is pissed that somebody got to that one first. Because he would have been able to combine it with his earlier pictures, titles, and, like, Out for a Fatal Death.
Uh-huh. Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the word. That's the most redundant title I've ever heard. Or no, the other one, Death Bed of Death. Or no, it was Death Kick of Death. That's a pretty
Death Kick of Death. But that's at least just repeating yourself, whereas Fatal Death is super redundant.
What's unfatal death? Is that like when they do the CPR and you're like, I can see the light, and then you get sucked back in your body and you're like, unfatal death?
Yeah, pretty much, I guess. I don't know. This death is fatal.
All right.
So Bruno started out as an editor, and when he got his directorial chance, it was on Sexy Pictures, late 60s, early 70s. And then he gets to basically just start doing Italian mockbusters. Mm-hmm. I don't know if anyone borrows, or let's just flat out say steals, because I don't feel like the rights to any of this stuff are ever gotten. He just steals shit.
You mean the endless archival footage?
Beyond that, there's more. There's other movies in here.
Oh, okay.
I'll get to that in a minute, but one would accuse Godfrey Ho of stealing more, but Godfrey's actually just mixing up stuff that he's allowed to do what he's doing, or who knows about that? You can't really even find anything out about Godfrey Ho, but in terms of a guy that just blatantly steals shit, Bruno Mattei may be at the top of the list.
I would think so.
Yeah, and he has the right idea, though, because he's just trying to have a mixed bag that's a lot of fun to watch.
Wait, can we guess what movies he might have stolen from?
Well, clearly Star Wars. All the zombies in Star Wars. Yeah, he stole those. I think there was some The Graduate in there, and Raging Bull. Raging Bull was featured heavily in this.
I was thinking more along the lines of The Gods Must Be Crazy, National Geographic footage.
Yeah, that's much more like it, Jackie.
It's not even like National Geographic footage. It's like VCR recordings of National Geographic footage, because it looks really bad.
Right.
So
maybe his grandma went on a vacation to like an animal park or a zoo, and she took all this footage, and she was like, "Oh, come over and see how my vacation went." Then he's like, "Oh, I'm totally using this."
She took a giant 35mm camera with her.
Yeah.
Okay.
The film La Vallée is where the weird native stuff that happens later is stolen from and then sort of mashed in with what they could do on their own. They didn't ever go anywhere. They actually shot this in 5 weeks in Barcelona.
Okay.
And because of that, Claudio Fragasso's featured as the writer and the assistant director. There was a number of scripts that happened before they came to this one, and then they end up having what they have resource-wise, and that's why Claudio's involved, is because he's going to be rewriting the script on a daily basis on site, while he's also the second unit director. And that gives him the assistant director credit, even though that would be like a misallocation of the credit under Hollywood rules, because the assistant director actually works directly for the main producer, not the director.
Mm-hmm.
But he's basically just there because everybody on this crew has probably 4 or 5 jobs.
Right.
They both were also tough cops.
Tough cops.
In the hostage sequence, Bruno and Claudio gave some Hitchcockian cameos
nice.
as tough cops.
Tough cops.
In the standoff. I guess the last thing to mention would be the actress, who was quite a phenom in Italy at the time. Margit Evelyn Newton. She had a very short career of mostly taking her top off.
Mm-hmm. I loved her in Xanadu.
Yeah, she does look a lot like that, right?
Right.
But she gets naked. She did not only erotic pictures and horror movies. It's a pretty short career. She also just did nude magazines, and then decided, well, that's about enough of that. I'm just going to go have a family now, and just disappears completely. But she will be back, because almost every one of the movies that she's in is really bad and pretty funny. That's about the size of what I have on this one. I mean, it's obviously a direct ripoff of Day of the Dead.
Yeah, I would say that's I mean, it's not direct, but it's pretty fucking close.
It's pretty fucking close.
Yeah.
It's really close.
We'll get into that.
Did the scene in the UN, the speech, that's obviously recycled, and I couldn't find what it's from. I thought it was from one of the Romero movies. If you're out there listening, email us at talker@stinkermadness, or one of the many other ways that you can get in touch with us and tell us, where the hell is that speech from? Because it's not from this fucking movie.
Yeah, and obviously the dialogue that is taped over or dubbed over is specifically for this movie, but it's not. The scene is not from this movie. So.
No,
it's really bad.
And speaking of stealing, I almost forgot this. Goblin, the soundtrack. It's not the Goblin. They couldn't afford Goblin,
right?
And it's not like Goblin is that expensive. But
right.
That's what Fragasso says. He's like, "Oh, Goblin was too expensive at that point," and you're going, "What?
What?
Argento had deep pockets? No,
right."
Most of this is from the movie Contagion.
Okay.
Or no, Contamination, which is actually a ripoff of the movie Alien. Then they just stole some other stuff from Goblin album work. And there's really no way to know that. I know that they didn't pay for any of this stuff that they just stole shit and were like, yeah, we're going to sell this anyway. Fuck it.
Yeah. Right.
Fuck it.
Right. Yeah, that's what Bruno does, because we did The Last Shark with Bruno, and I mean, there was so much stolen shit from that. It was ridiculous. He even stole from, like, his other Jaws knockoff. Like, what? God damn it, Bruno. But, yeah, I think Contamination is also on the watch list. Like, I mean, that was a potential episode, so we'll see what happens there.
Yes. We're going to have to kind of take little mini tours to the 70s to 90s Italian films periodically here, because there's a lot there. There's just a lot there.
Yeah, it's a deep well.
Well, I'll tell you what they spent their money on, because they couldn't afford Goblin. Stickers that said Hope. And that they stuck all over those 3 helmets that they had, that they just kind of rotated from everybody in the first scene.
The production design's budget was about $50.
Yeah, I was surprised at even the locations that they were able to get a hold of, knowing how much money that they're going to spend on this, I was like, wow, how about that? That's actually a factory. I thought that was stock footage. They got the outside is stock footage.
They may not have got those locations, Sam's. They may have just snuck onto those locations.
Sure, they did sneak into those locations. Hey, look at these. That's about how it went.
Permits be damned.
Yeah. Actually, one of the funny things I was reading about the actress was that she apparently was uncomfortable doing the nude scene in this versus any of the other ones. And she was like, well, I just need to have the crew reduced to the bare minimum. And they probably just looked at each other and like, it's just me and Claudio still.
Right?
And he's doing like 5 things.
He's
so...
holding the mic and I'm holding the camera. We only have 4 hands between the two of us. I mean, what do you want here, lady?
Most of the cast is also gaffers.
Right? That guy literally has tape in his back pocket.
Yeah.
He's holding up the light and one of his prop guns. All right, are we ready to get into this? Sure.
We should mention also, if you're going to email us at talkatstinkermadness, that you can yell at me for, once again, not picking Cemetery Man for my Halloween pick, even though I've said that I'm going to do it for about 4 years now. It's not streaming, so COVID, damn it you, next year, hell or high water, Cemetery Man.
Yeah, sure.
Uh-huh.
I'm not putting any money on that.
You know, I think by now, if you're an avid listener, you know that Sam is a fucking liar.
Yeah, he's full of shit, man.
He lies about his picks constantly.
It's not even that he is has an excuse. No, he's lying about his excuse. He just loves lying. He's a lie maniac. What's a kleptomaniac that is not into stealing but lying?
It's a liar pants on fire.
Domaniac.
Yeah.
Because you got to add omaniac on the end. He's
It's
a liomaniac.
called the president.
Yeah, you're the president, Sam.
He's got Trumpism.
Yeah. You're a shadow government running in on a podcast and just lying to people constantly. It works really well. So basically what we got going on here is this place called Hope 18. It's like some big, like almost power plant-y, like Chernobyl style building that they're doing God knows what in. Does anybody have a guess what they're fucking doing here?
Well, it's not a guess. At the beginning of the movie, it looks like it's a nuclear power plant, but they're apparently making poison. That's Operation Sweet Death.
Fatal Death.
And through the end of this sequence, the guy's like, Operation Sweet Death turned out to be a disaster. And it's like, wait, what could have gone wrong with that operational title?
Right. So, okay, they're making poison gas, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, cool. Cool stuff, guys.
Yeah, they're trying to call the population.
What? Is that really? What the fuck? Jesus.
Yeah. That's what they say by the end of it, but it's just like, we made something that was going to kill everybody, and it turns out it's actually going to kill everybody and not just poor people. Fuck.
Oops.
Fuck.
Yeah, I guess a poison that is supposed to determine your monetary value.
Right.
That's an under 40,000er. Let's get him. Like, yeah, the poison checks your bank account first, and then it comes after you for being poor.
I'm going to need to see 10 years of tax returns. All right, wait, you're poison. How about you fuck off? Okay.
But next time you order pizza, I'm coming back.
Yeah.
I actually have to come back tomorrow and ask you about your extended warranty.
Okay. I also like that at this, like to set up this whole movie, the first at least 5 minutes of it is going through this factory's like status report. Everything's normal, sir. What about the temperatures? Temperatures are normal, sir. What about the radiation? Radiation's normal. What about the cooling systems? Cooling systems are normal, sir. And every time this guy says this is normal, it just pans to the same like panel of buttons that do the exact same thing. None of them say normal or have any sort of gauge that you could be like, yep, that looks good. It's just the computer spits out a, oh, that means it's normal, sir.
Yeah. And they're all inappropriately close to each other for a workplace environment.
Yes.
Did you notice that? Like,
yeah.
Why are you grinding me?
Yeah, you're
I'm actually trying to not blow up the nuclear power plant or whatever this is.
The temperatures are good, sir. How's my penis feel on your leg? Not good, sir. Please step back a little. Okay. Feels good to me, though. I like it on your leg. So downstairs, these two dudes are wandering around, and they're like, noo. I've got a Geiger counter, I guess. And, oh, my God, the Geiger counter's spiking. There's radiation. Well, that doesn't make sense because that board upstairs said everything was normal. Whatever. And there's a leak, I guess, that they go and check out. And
Well, yeah, they're like, these routine checks are a waste of time. Oh, man. Wait a second. This is a complete fucking disaster. Hey, grab that rat.
Hey, I found the problem.
Yeah, I found the problem. There's a zombie rat in here. Could you just stand there while it kills me slowly?
Oh, man, this guy's death is amazing.
And his friend just stand there and watch. Like, don't even try to grab the rat or me. Just watch me die so slowly from a rat. Like, I didn't throw it. I put it on my neck so it would kill me.
I don't know how, like, if you think about this rat doesn't, like, rip through his clothing to get at his guts or anything like that. It sneaks in under his hood. Like, his hood is not secure to his head or his clothes, meaning that it would be pretty goddamn useless if you're going and checking for radiation.
Yeah.
Those were dead men walking to begin with.
No, they got painter's suits and then they got little head condoms. It doesn't make any sense.
The rat just climbs into and eats his face, I guess. It's hilarious.
Slowly.
It takes forever for this guy to die.
Well, and then he doesn't even take off his helmet or anything. He just lets the rat, like, just get up in there and kill him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Doesn't try to smack his head or anything.
Uh-huh.
It's just, well, I guess this is happening. Ah!
And then I think when he falls down, he, like, knocks a valve off one of the pipes, releasing the poison.
Maybe, or that's just like what they found is that valve's about to blow, and that's not even a zombie rat. He's just like, hey, look at this. And then a normal rat just kills him.
Uh-huh.
And then the valve blows. These guys are so bad at everything that they are barely able to bear witness to the start of the apocalypse.
Yeah. So back up at the control room, everybody's running around. I like this because it's a total Dr. Evil. You take that thing and go over there, and you move that thing over there. People are just running to the same panel over and over again, and then like another person runs to the same panel. It's like, no, one person uses that panel. That is their job. They hit the buttons on that panel. You have other panels to hit buttons on. But the main professor guy, who's I guess the inventor of this toxic gas, he fires up the alarm, and people are going downstairs to see this problem. They've suited up. They go check it out. There's zombies everywhere down in the basement now. Which makes me think there's two ways this started. Was the gas, or that guy was patient zero and got zombified by a rat and then started eating his pals. Like, I don't really know what's going on here.
Well, the gas has to be doing it because we see how fast the zombies move in this one. And it's not going to be a super spreader through that factory.
No, these guys are some of the slowest zombies we've ever seen.
Yes. They make their way down to the floor of whatever facility this is. And then the first zombie attacks, and you're like, whoop, that's a zombie early in. Well, nice job, Bruno. At least you put the zombies on screen fast and didn't make us wait for a fucking hour and a half.
He put something on screen. I don't know if I'd call them zombies, because this guy basically looks like he just pushed his face into chocolate cake.
Dawn of the Dead, some of them are just blue.
Yes, some of
Blue
them are
makeup,
just blue.
so let's not get hard on them for that. Also, this zombie starts killing a man who says, hey guys, go ahead and just watch this zombie eat me.
Right?
Like, don't run, don't do anything. Just watch, not even in horror. Just check it out.
Like,
you never saw this before. Just hang out.
The professor takes a tour of his coworkers getting eaten. He's like, that's interesting, and just stands and watches for like, oh, hey, Fred's getting eaten. Well, I'll check this out for a little while. Okay.
Yeah, I also
There's his
noticed
liver.
the factory zombies seem to be very responsible eaters. They're taking tiny bites.
Yeah.
Yeah, little tiny bites of people.
They've had a gastric sleeve put in, and so they have to be very, they're watching their weight and trying to stay fit.
Yeah. The head of evil teleports all over during this sequence. He does not walk anywhere. He just shows up places and then is kind of like, oh no, they're dead too, kind of.
I should watch them get eaten. He does go upstairs finally, and he records a tape message, and he's like, yeah, this was a bad plan. Sorry, our bad.
Yeah. Operation Sweet Death got out of hand. Looks like it's going to work better than perfectly. Oops. Oops. Also, whoever named this facility Hope, you'll have a promising career titling legislation.
Right. Okay, yeah, I'm suing for false advertising, Hope 18. Elsewhere, there's a hostage situation.
And it just jumps. Like, this is a totally new movie.
Right.
They don't try to tie this in, nothing. It's just like, and now that we've shown you the zombies, welcome to this other movie that we've created.
Fire Up Movie 2. It's at the consulate, the American consulate, I guess. And these terrorists have some embassy people hostaged, and their demand is that they shut down all the Hope facilities and tell the public what the Hope facilities were. Like, how the fuck did these guys even know about it? I guess they got some pretty bad security leaks in wherever this takes place at.
These also, you can see the first, well, it's not the first shades of the production. I feel like the cop scene is actually stolen from another movie, and then they just kind of got as close to it with the shots that they had to do themselves.
Right.
The hostage takers, whatever those are called, the terrorists, you'll notice that most of them have the remnants of makeup on still, because they're the zombie extras in the beach scene later.
Yes. Yep, I got that.
Especially the guy who brings in the TV.
Yeah.
TV guy.
TV guy.
He still has his zombie makeup on.
mean,
I'm
he
like,
looks
what the fuck
bad.
is wrong with this guy? And then you're like, oh, I wonder if he was in the previous scene. And then he's like, I'm not taking off my makeup for this. I'll just walk in with the TV. It'll be fine.
Yeah, his makeup was seriously like, they just took like a ash pit from last night's campfire and just stuck his face in it, because he's just gray as hell, and you're like, that man needs to see a doctor. That's not healthy. Outside, the SWAT team is going to go in, but we're not going to call them the SWAT team, and I don't even care what these guys' names are. I'm just going to call them wankers, because that's what these guys are. They're wankers.
They're wankers, yes, but they're not Interpol SWAT. They're not police. Those are henchmen.
Yes, indeed.
They are dressed like henchmen, and they behave like henchmen. Those are henchmen.
Bring in the henchers. Okie dokie. So they go in. They got the tear gas is deployed. They go in. The first guy that they find, they're like, drop your weapon. Okay, I was just walking over here, and then they cut his fucking throat open. Like, ha ha ha. They're bad guys too.
Yeah. I mean, they shoot TV guy.
They shoot TV guy. He didn't even have a gun.
No.
And they just sent him in 5 minutes ago, so they knew who that guy was. They're like, that fucker. There he is. He took my parking spot last week
Right.
at Costco. You know what? That's it. This is my revenge time right now.
Yeah, I think TV guy is like the other part of the hostage negotiation people sending in the pizza guy that happens to have like a gun, and he's going to try to spring everybody from the inside. TV guy's on their side. And they're like, die.
It's just a byproduct of how well this team works independently. They're like, it's messy. Got to break a few eggs to make an omelet, but these guys are very effective and they work independently. So we're just not going to know what they're going to do. They're wild cards.
Yeah, we don't even know who called them. Who's in charge of these guys? We'll never know.
They just have a CB
believe
radio in Bob's basement.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, oh, hostage situation. Everybody get on your jumpsuits.
Suit up.
Yeah, the police chief's like, oh, no, we got these guys from Hope 18. It's fine.
All right, so they go in and they shoot the rest of the rest of the guys too. And the lead guy gives us a long soliloquy before dying. This is a repeating theme of like just giving these long dramatic discussions in vague terms before you die for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, it was what was left of Fergasso's idea of blending Soylent Green into the zombie genre.
Yeah, a bit of that. So now they're like, I guess, because earlier they're like, so what are we gonna do later? Or I want to go on vacation. Let's go to an exotic place where they got hula girls and we can get some of that. And then the next thing is they're in some exotic location talking about hula girls, implying that they went on their fucking vacation.
Well, it's a working vacation. The guy's billing is, hey, we're going on vacation. They're like, hey, our vacation's like, no, bring your gear. We just got to work remotely again. Oh.
Where do you guys want to go? Do you want to go to Hawaii? I heard it's nice there. We could try Bali. We could try Fiji. I heard about this place where they have cannibals. Let's go there. Yeah, Cannibal Town. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Well, and they're just taking a piss like right on these people's graveyard, right?
Uh-huh.
Making comments about the sexy skeleton women.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right. And then they admit that they stole a Jeep. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Like, they're supposed to be the country's special ops, right?
Uh-huh.
But they don't even give him a fucking car.
Right?
No, this is Bob's basement revenge service.
Yes, it is.
They're actually some of the best henchmen I've seen, because henchmen are not good usually. I mean, they show their true colors by the end of it, with their ability to shoot things, but they're just henchmen.
Yeah. Okay, so elsewhere, there's, I guess, some tourists in a Range Rover, two couples and a kid. And somehow this kid has got like the grossest, most infected wound. Like, that kid really needs to go to a hospital, not continue your trip in Cannibal Town. What the fuck, people?
This is something that it takes watching the movie twice to put it together. They're a news team.
Yeah.
A married couple producers, a cameraman, Max, and then she's the journalist. And then the argument is about, we can't bring our kids to work anymore. This one's actually going to die now.
Oh, I see. Okay. I thought they were just out enjoying themselves.
It looked like he kind of fell on a stick. And they were like, it'll be okay. We'll just keep it clean.
Rub some dirt in it.
Yeah. And then he started to get gangrene.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, oh, well, we don't want to be negligent.
What's
we
that
should probably
smell?
take him to somewhere.
These buildings.
It's abandoned town.
We'll get some water for him, and he'll be better. No, that kid's not going to make it, guys.
Yeah, and the dad is like yelling at the mom about not having a medical supply kit. And the kid, and then he blames it on a mosquito bite. And I'm like, that is the biggest fucking mosquito bite I have ever seen in my life.
No, that was, I think you mistook a mosquito for a .357 round, buddy, because that kid has clearly been shot in the tummy.
Well, the guy who became a zombie that bit him was actually named Mosquito.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So the cameraman and the reporter, they go looking out for some water, and the dad is like, I'll stay here and just catch some Z's with my dying son on my lap. You know, he and I are just gonna snuggle, and he's gonna pass away while I fall asleep, because that's just kind of the dad I am.
Yeah, he dies. He dies in his father's lap, and his father's like, I'm so sleepy. I didn't even notice. He just like, what was that? Oh, kid dying? I just need a couple more winks, just a couple more.
The mom finds the zombie and runs out, and I guess she gets eaten up a little bit, and then the kid becomes a zombie, starts eating on his dad. The reporter and the cameraman, they find a pool full of zombies, and it's like, what were those zombies doing down there in the first place?
That seems a little bit more puzzling because it shows them, and they're like, oh, we found some water to drink, and you see the water, and you're like, no, that's just poison. And they don't drink it because they're like, oh, good thing we didn't drink that poison. It's got zombies in it.
But we were willing to chance the diarrhea.
Yeah, diarrhea is fine, but zombification, nah. All right, so the wankers, they see him, and they're like, oh, let's go down there. And I like how he's like, hey, he's looking through the binoculars, and he's like, what do you suppose those white things are down there? To his guys, and they're like, you're the one with fucking binoculars. You tell us, asshole. And they're like, oh, that's buildings. Hey, there's a car. The guy has binoculars, and you see better than... Well, okay, fine, sons of bitches.
Maybe he was using them backwards. So everything looked like super far away, and he's like, how can you guys even see that?
Right. So they drive down there. They find the kid eating the dad, and it takes them a little while, but they figure out the shoot him in the head thing. Oh, okay, that's what we got. Sort of. They never really figure it out, other than the one guy who I'm just going to call Psycho for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, Psycho.
Yeah.
He figures it out. This kid thing is about as much fun as you can have in a zombie movie, I think, because the kid does passable as becoming a zombie when he dies.
Mm-hmm.
Not really.
Mm-hmm.
He does passable eating the guts. Not really.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets shot like 17 times.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, wow, most people would be afraid to even do the kid, but you're just like doing the kid over and over again with a 2x4. You're just like beating the kid's a zombie and we got to kill the kid to death, to the point that there's just people standing around going, that dead kid can get shot a lot.
Right.
This is weird.
Nobody is reacting to these guys shooting this little boy a bunch of times. They're just looking at it like they went fishing and caught a bass. Like, that's as surprised and as shocked as they are to see a child get shot in the chest 7 times. Like, huh. Okay. Seeing that now. Moving on. So they wipe out the rest of the zombies.
And they shoot the kid right in the head.
Yeah, they eventually, Psycho does. We cut to a TV station, which is trying to do some exposition for us on what's happening, or to set up the remainder of the movie, because it's mashing a bunch of shit together. So we've got this paper-thin narrative that it's pushing on us, delivered by 2 guys at a TV station giving us expository dialogue. And they're like, the natives are restless, and they're in civil war because they're zombies. And I think the TV is telling us that these natives treat their dead in a special way, and so you can't destroy the zombies because they're revered because they're the dead, and so the plague is just wiping out all these tribes, and now they're going to war with each other or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, it's basically like unconfirmed reports of unconfirmed things. Now, birds! Because there's a bunch of shots of birds next.
Uh-huh. I don't understand. Okay. So the wankers want to go through this village. And the reporter lady's like, no, you can't just go in there guns blazing. You'll never get through this jungle, even if you had a tank. Let me go in. I've spent time with these people before. And they're like, before they can even react, she does the Superman reveal of her boobs.
Yeah. She's like, I gotta do this on my own. And they're like, you were already, what are you doing?
Oh, hey. I was not planning on seeing boobs today, but look, there they are.
And then she's like, I have to run ahead. You're thinking, I'm going to scout out the area and come back. No, she just gets naked, puts on some leaves around her crotch, and then runs 6 feet ahead of the Jeep.
Right? And she's got like tribal makeup too, like fake shitty tribal makeup. Who was packing that makeup this whole time?
It was in the camera bag, I guess.
Yeah, right. And it looks really stupid. Like she's designed the worst pattern of tribal makeup I have ever seen, like especially on her face.
Yeah, having seen it twice, the first time I'm like, oh man, what a fail. She's got like Halloween puppy dog.
Oh, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, like the first time I saw this, I was like, well, every 22-year-old girl would do slutty puppy for Halloween.
Right.
But there is an actual native from the other movie, La Valley, that has the exact same makeup, and so they matched it.
Okay, I
that
missed that.
wasn't a very good idea, though.
No, sure wasn't. So she's like, I need 1 hour. I'm going to go in there and negotiate something, and then you guys can show up. And basically, she just goes in there and negotiates with more archival footage from this other movie.
Yeah, the most important thing to note is that they are rubbing dead people on their skin like it's lotion.
Mm-hmm.
This
Which-
whole thing was just gross.
Yeah, this is real gross. But if you want to get dysentery, dead person lotion is the way to
Dead
go.
person lotion, it is very exfoliating, but what gets into your pores is more death. So don't do that. Yeah, it's bad. Don't.
Did you
Yeah.
see the cock and balls though on this
Oh,
dead guy?
man. That guy was packing heat.
Holy shit! I thought they just put a gourd down there, like a Thanksgiving gourd, and then I look closer and I'm like, nope, that is 2 balls and a penis. Like that thing is huge.
He
like,
wasn't even
dangerous.
He wasn't even a big dude, and he just had this huge nutsack and this huge dong. It was like a 5-foot dude with long dong Silver's junk. Like, what the fuck?
He had a butternut squash. It was ridiculous.
Exactly.
Then they put him in, like, he's at the gynecologist. He's, like, in stirrups.
Uh-huh.
Above
No, this is a different
fire.
guy.
I know. Well, that guy's in the log. This is where the found footage becomes a bit of a mashup,
Right.
and you're having a hard time keeping a track of which is which.
Right.
But in the sequence, there's a guy that like is in stirrups over a fire, and I just can't see that ending well.
Right.
Like, is this how they make their funeral confetti? Because that guy's gonna pop, and it's gonna be gross.
Yeah, it's like a pinata. You just to get him nice and hot, and he explodes, and the kids get candy. It's just your uncle's guts.
But notice that they didn't
Ew.
show his wiener. He probably took one look at that other guy's wiener and was like,
No,
nope,
no,
give
no.
me a covering.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't want to embarrass that guy because mine's so big, so much bigger than his junk. Yep, that's what I'm thinking right now. So let me hide it.
Well, if it's that big, you'll need this cape. No, my underwear are fine. Oh, are they?
All right. So I also like that the leader, I guess, of the tribe walks over and gives her his helmet to put on. Like,
Yeah.
one of us, gooble gobble. That's like, have my helmet. Do you do this with everybody that shows up in this town that you like? Like, how much? So you're just making helmets all day long. Like, I can't keep my helmet. I'm always giving it to guests.
He just loves them titties.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Do we still have cannibals? Is there still cannibals anywhere?
I have no idea. I'm going to just assume yes.
Like, other than Monkey Island? Because these guys kind of remind me of the cannibals in Monkey Island, too.
Yeah. It's a strange thing to do this because you've got zombies in a cannibal situation. It's multiplicative.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so bizarre that the filmmakers themselves didn't even know what to do with the idea.
Right. I agree with that. Anyway, so eventually the wankers drive up, and they're all accepted into the tribe, and then so they have a big fucking party with like very not tribal music. Like it's a pretty groovy tune that they're playing here. And then they're invited into the tents, and it's like, hey, let's make out with these cannibal women. And one guy is like eating another gourd that's all shredded up, and the other guy's like, I drank too much, blah, and there's much vomiting and dancing, and it's just fucking wacky.
It is strange. The reporter decides that she's going to hit on the guy that sort of looks a little bit like Chuck Woolery, because there's a guy that looks a little bit like Chuck Woolery, and then there's a guy that looks a little bit like Lee Majors. But the real problem is they look just like each other,
right?
And you can't tell them a fucking part.
Yep, I agree with that completely. And I also think the guy that looks like Lee Majors / Tom Berenger is the leader of this whole group.
Yes.
And the guy that looks like Chuck Woolery is his like second in command.
Something like that.
Also, Chuck Woolery, go to hell. So they have like a little conversation when the funeral guy that's over the fire pit comes back. He's a zombie and attacks her, and he gets bonked in the face by Lee Majors, but then there's more of them, and the whole town is overrun suddenly, and so they got to get out of there.
They do, and they have established to shoot them in the head. These are very slow zombies. He has an H&K M3, which is a 308, and really a designated marksman rifle. At distance, these are dead zombies very quickly, which is why he turns it around and uses it as a bat, proving that he is a henchman.
Yes, very much so. These guys are so fucking stupid. So they leave. The next day, their Jeep breaks down, and so they're like, well, we got to all pile into the Range Rover and get your camera equipment out of there. We got our stuff that we don't use ever to put in there. And the camera guy's like, no, we got to keep that. It's our footage and records. Like, you brought your records collection? I don't know.
Yeah.
That was a good idea.
No, he's got Dylan and the Dead in there. Dark Side of the Moon.
Right.
Yeah, there's some good stuff.
Don't leave home without it. So she is like, he'll never fucking come and say, give us your stuff and do whatever you want. This is our Range Rover. She grabs a gun. She's holding Lee Majors at gunpoint. And then all of a sudden, she just gets completely dismantled from like what she was doing. Like it all seems very threatening. And she's like, I've killed a man before and I'm not afraid to do it. Like, holy shit, this chick's kind of badass. And then they just take the gun away from her.
Just take it away. Like, wow, that sucks.
Is that how your rape thing went too?
Like,
because she says, I killed a man because he tried to rape me.
Right.
And I'm like, okay.
Well, it clearly went better for her because she actually accomplished something because she said she killed a man. This is embarrassing. I feel bad.
I'm actually going to go out on a limb and say that he still raped her after she killed him. And they're like, how? And she goes, well, it wasn't easy.
Yeah. That sucks, Sam. That sucks. Okay, so later, they're still pals because fucking Chuck Woolery comes over and gives her some fucking Copenhagen. Like, don't smoke. Yeah. It's bad for you. Here, have some chew.
Have some chew.
She literally...
You won't get... He's like, oh, the cigarettes, they'll see that. And she's like, are we worried about snipers now?
Because that campfire's pretty bright.
Right. We've been driving all day with the headlights on. I mean, come on.
And I'm pretty sure that he didn't give her chewing tobacco. It looked more like heroin.
That's how old chews, like big, not big league chew, but the bag chew. That's, you break it off.
Oh,
yeah.
I did not know that.
Plug tobacco.
Yeah, plug tobacco. There you go. And I like when she puts it in, which plug tobacco is tough stuff. And she puts it in, and she's like, That's pretty good. She literally goes, yum.
You're like,
No, you're about to puke, lady.
yeah, no. Everyone that has plug tobacco the first time's like, I can take it. I can do it. And by the time you try to get it into your mouth like you're going to pouch it, that's when the barf happens.
Yep. It is tough stuff. Funny story. I had this guy come over and work on the motorhome, and he for my generator. I was having some generator issues, and so he like was tracing to make sure the thing got gas into the generator, and so he kept siphoning gas into the gas line, like into his mouth and spitting it out. And each time he's like, yuck. And I'm like, do you want some water to wash your mouth out with? Because he did it like 6 times, and he's like, nope, that's why I chew. I'm like, Jesus Christ. See, now you've just got, you've got gas chew. Your chew has become one with the gasoline.
No, I mean,
gas.
We just learned something about being hard. Huffing gas is for pussies.
I chew it. It was like, okay, can you just fix my generator and go away, please? You scare me. So the chief and the psycho, they go for a walk, and they find some zombies, and they're like, oh, run away. And the camera guy's like, oh shit, what a perfect time to get some great footage of these zombies. And so he wanders over about 6 feet away from him, and then the zombies appear to stop moving any closer to him, but the movie is telling us that the zombies are coming right at him. But you look at it, they're not moving.
No, they're all standing there, and everyone's screaming, what did we do? They're gonna get him! And he's like, shut up, I just need to hold still for 10 seconds, and I've got it, and I'll come back. And that never happens, and eventually the psycho guy has to go in there, and he's like, I know how to deal with these zombies. By dancing with them.
By dancing with them. What the fuck is this shit?
I don't know, but I will say that this was the smiliest pack of zombies in the entire movie. Like half of these zombies are just got shit-eating grins on their face like, yeah, I'm in a movie.
It's because they made the 10 o'clock news, Jackie. Mom, I'm on TV! Whee!
Yeah. As they throw you in the back of a cop car.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Or she goes over there and she's like, "Oh, I like your zombie makeup. What are you up to today?" I'm eating people. Also, I like turtles. Cuz, like that kid.
Yeah.
Cuz they're on TV. All right, so this fucking psycho guy is like he just gets swarmed by them, and I have never seen any zombie be more inept at being a zombie than these ones. Like, they're bad at being zombies because this guy is clearly within nibbling range or grabbing range.
Yeah.
And they can't even do it.
There's a small group of 3 zombies earlier that the cameraman and the reporter win a game of Red Rover with.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, wow, those are bad zombies. Those are the worst zombies I've ever seen. And then there's these zombies, and you're like, oh, shit. He actually tries to feed one of the zombies his arm, and it's just like, oh, that's a big taco. I don't know if I can do it.
Like, what the fuck? And I keep thinking he's going to die, and, like, they're going to be like, God, that guy was an idiot, and they move on. Or he's just suicidal or something. But no, these zombies are just completely inept. It's bonkers. So they find some house, and it's got a playground in front. And I like how it's established. We finally get a shot of birds that are diegetic in the film because they're filtered with a binocular lens. So somebody's looking through binoculars at birds. Then we get the reverse shot, and the binoculars are pointed directly at the house that's in front of them. Like, there's 2 shots here that don't line up. Wait, I thought you were looking at birds. Now we're looking at a house where the birds were. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Good job.
It seems like there's an attempt for some level of continuity with these stock shots, but it just doesn't work. It's just like elephants, birds, a baboon.
More bird, a fox eating a bouncing little thing. I don't know.
No, the fox, the coyote eating the rat thing, whatever the hell that was, that's like, that actually is the hound getting the hair. Like, he actually tried to foreshadow with that.
But that's not what happens.
No, well, no, it does. It does because, well, I won't.
All right. You pointed out when you think the hound gets the hair. All right, so they find one guy. I don't know what we're gonna call him. We're not gonna call him anything because he dies right here. He finds a closet full of like party costumes, and he's like, "I'm gonna have a costume party."
Yeah. He's supposed, like, you're going to go down and clear the basement. And he goes into the first room and he starts putting on ladies' clothes. And you're like, easy, J. Edgar.
And then he manages to get eaten. Like, what's in this room? Oh, no. I'm getting eaten. No.
Yeah. He's got a top hat and a cane. And he's trying to put on the Ritz, but there's too many zombies in the way. He was like, I saw the other guy dance with the zombies. I thought you liked dancing. I was going to show you how to do it well.
They're putting him on the Ritz crackers because they're going to eat him.
Well, he is smiling while he's laying there like,
upstairs, the Lee Major guy has found an old lady that has cats living in her tummy. That was unexpected.
Yeah.
and that kitten jumps out.
Yeah. What were you doing in there? Like,
he also out wrestles the lieutenant for a while. This
Yeah,
is the
the old
lieutenant,
lady.
right?
oh, yeah. Okay. I thought it was
out
Lee Major.
wrestles him, and then he like finally pushes her off and pulls out his gun, and she just starts smiling at him like, "But I'm your grandma. You
She
can't
looks like the
shoot
sweetest
me."
old lady. Do you want some cookies?
When he shoves her off and pulls his gun out, you're like, okay, shoot her. And then he doesn't. And then she tries the grandma routine, and that's when he's like, you know what? You're not my grandma. And then he finally fucking shoots her after a really long time.
Right. Oh, man. The house has been overrun. The zombies have come, they grab the reporter, but they don't eat her, even though, like, again, her head is in the range of their mouths very easily. And the psycho guy dives into a mob of them again and does the same thing from before. This time, at least, he's got a weapon, but it's a pretty shitty weapon because it's, like, supposed to be this roaring torch, and it's like the big lighter of torches. That's not a lot of fire. You couldn't set a guy on fire without working pretty hard with this thing.
But he does set a guy on fire.
Eventually, yes, when they get a different torch. But when he's inside the house, he's just like, you'll never take me. You want a piece of me? Well, you're not going to get one, you fuckers.
Yeah.
The same shit. It's so fucking weird.
They go to the car, and they're like, okay, we can't wait for Psychopath anymore. Then he shows up just in time before they leave.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, the lieutenant's like, nope, he's off the reservation. Just go take his guns.
Right.
So they take one of the guns, go back, and he's like, I said take his guns, not one of them, and he's in the car now.
Car. God damn it. Okay, they drive off. The car breaks down because I guess it's got bullet allergies or something. I don't know.
Before that, because they don't close the windows or lock the doors, one of the zombies just hops in and sits down for a ride.
It's hilarious. Like, my instant riff was like, can you take me to the airport? It's so weird.
Because he tries to close the door behind him like he's a passenger.
Did you guys watch the game last night? It was crazy. Okay, so so they drive off. Eventually, they drive to the river, and they're like, okay, so we'll follow the river down. That'll get us to the ocean where we can launch our Zodiac. Wait, I'm sorry, what? Zodiac? Wait, okay, that's unexpected. And finish the mission.
Finish the mission. So you took the standard passenger fare to wherever you're at and had a Zodiac lying in wait rather than just taking a boat to where you needed to go to begin with.
Correct.
Henchmen.
Yeah. So I like how they say get the Zodiac, and it's takes two dudes, and it looks like a fairly flat but rubber encasement. And then they get down to the beach, and it's got an engine.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that all that shit was in that little bag.
Right. It looks like a tent bag that they walk up with. And then they've got an entire Zodiac with a bunch of shit in it.
Yeah.
The seats 8. Okay. And then so they Zodiac to the Hope 18 facility. And you're like, oh, okay. So the movie does tie together. Interesting. The cameraman guy gets eaten. And then so does the psycho guy, because he does the dance thing again, but it finally doesn't work because the elevator doors close on him, and now he's trapped, I guess. I don't know.
It's just too tight a space for dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overcapacity, definitely a health violation with that elevator.
Also, they get to the facility. It's crawling with zombies, and the lieutenant's like, I'm still going to finish the mission. And it's like, what's the fucking mission?
Well, let's save that one to the end, Sam, because maybe we'll stumble upon it along the way. So then he gets bitten in the neck. He's not dead, but he's clearly turning into a zombie. And he goes upstairs, and he finds the tape, the apology tape from the beginning, plays it, and then starts, like, ripping up papers.
From the top secret folder, yeah.
From the top secret folder, while the other two are just wandering around. Okay.
And he's burning stuff in an ashtray.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess the mission is to destroy the evidence of the apocalypse, but he should be like, well, why the fuck?
Dude,
We
there's
should
zombies
just
everywhere.
get out of here. And then the other guy and the reporter lady are like, oh, now we know. Knowing is half the battle. Let's just give up.
Yeah. What she gives a long ass soliloquy as well, because Lee Majors is now a zombie, and they're all coming for him. I like their little march that they make as well. Like, the zombies are very good at queuing in this movie.
Oh yeah, they're coming down the stairs like it's a lunch break, and then there's 3 of them dressed in unitards and sneakers. Like, what did they do at the factory? They're Green Man.
Yeah, they're Green Man from Philadelphia. What the fuck is your job? We can see your dick.
And it's not nearly as big as the guy from the death scene earlier.
That guy couldn't get in one of those Green Man suits. His junk was way too big.
Yeah.
And then she gets it pretty rough. Like, it tears out her tongue and then punches up into her brain through her mouth and then pokes out her eyeballs from the opposite side.
Yeah, this is one of the most vengeful zombie killings ever, if not the most, because this zombie has killed her in a way that she can't become a zombie because he punches her brain out.
Right.
That was the cameraman. He'd had enough of her shit over the years. Or an angry fan that, signed up for her fan club, but she never sent him anything, but she took the $25 for membership fee, and he's like, I never got my belt buckle.
Say goodbye to your eyeballs from the inside. Like, it's a strange way to go.
I just gotta pull your tongue out and make room for this brain punch.
Elsewhere, there's these 2 barflies that are like, they hear about the zombies on the news, and they're like, fake news, whatever. And let's go make out. And she's like, oh, I don't want to go any further because then you won't marry me. And he's like, dude, we're in our 40s. What the fuck are you talking about? And she's like, whatever. I need a smoke. You stress me out. I need a cigarette. So, hey, mister, do you have a lighter? And her makeout partner's like, I seriously have one right here. And she's like, nope, don't want yours. I'm going to go bug this stranger who appears to be napping. Knocks him over. It's a zombie. She gets eaten. The dude gets eaten. The zombies are everywhere. Mission failed, I think.
But then we get a close-up of some blue zombie.
Oh, yeah, right. Coming at the camera, implying that the zombies are coming for us. Yeah, so the mission was to destroy evidence of the zombies, but
yeah,
the zombies were literally on they were on CNN, dude. Your mission was dumb.
Like, are they there to destroy the evidence that it was a man-made zombie pandemic in case the zombie pandemic didn't work by killing everyone?
Yeah. But the UN fucking knows what's going on. Like, it's made it to the top. You can't. What are you doing there?
I actually have to mention the UN sequence because it's supposed to be like, oh my God, everything's going to hell. There's only a few people left at the UN and they're just throwing papers around. And I'm like, that's actually what the UN looks like almost every day.
Yeah, that was just
six people really pissed off and no one listening.
Yep.
Weird.
Okay, question time, Jackie.
Why did the reporter and the cameraman fucking get on the Zodiac and go on their secret mission with them? Like, no, you've got the car, you drop them off, and then you're like, well, see ya. And you head to the airport and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, like.
And how did the zombies get across the water?
How did the zombies get from the fucking factory to mainland wherever?
No, they didn't go from the mainland. They actually could have driven to the facility. They just decided to take a Zodiac up the river.
Yeah, right. It's a pleasure cruise.
They didn't leave the island. They just took a boat to where they were going instead of a car.
Yeah. They wanted to do some fishing along the way.
Yeah, and they do address why Max and What's-Her-Face go with them. And the main lieutenant's like, we can't leave him here. That would be murder. We're going to take him with us.
Which will be murder. No, we're good. We're good. You guys suck, by the way. Bye. And then they drive the fucking Range Rover away. No, don't go with these guys. Are you kidding me? Like the first time that they shoot him in the chest like 70 times. Oh, yeah, we forgot about that head thing. That's when you like sneak off in the night with the car. Like, nope, these guys are going to be a problem. They're clearly psychopaths. We're leaving. I mean, nope. What else? Who else has got anything? Sam?
What was she there reporting on to begin with?
I'm guessing something to do with the native tribes because she had experience with them. So she's probably like the lead expert on what these tribe people are up to. And there was unrest, right? So
yeah.
I guess
there wasn't unrest until they were already there.
True.
They're just down there reporting on cannibals, which is not hot news at this time. So, like, the news report goes, Diane, what have you got for us? Well, there's still cannibals in this land. Very da-da-da-da-da-da. How did you find any of this out, Diane? Well, they love titties. Oh, this is not news, Diane.
See, and I was thinking that she was doing a where are they now? So she spent a year out there with them, and then she's back to report on, whether or not Tony opened up his pizza business. Like we left it, and the one guy was going to go to college,
right?
And the other guy, he was trying to build up his herd so he could be, king cowboy, and
he's going to own a dude ranch.
Yeah, and she was just there to see if they had, fulfilled their dreams.
So did any of you guys fulfill your dreams? No, we just mostly hung out and ate people. Oh, well, maybe next year.
Where are they now? Most of them are poo.
Over on that side of the mountain.
Okay. Who was your favorite zombie death? What was your favorite?
I'm gonna go with her getting her whole brain pushed out of her eyes.
It's pretty hard. Pretty hard to object with that. I liked the kid quite a bit eating his dad's tummy. I thought that was pretty funny because that guy kind of fucking deserved it.
Yeah.
He kind of had it coming, right?
See, and I liked the rat attack.
The rat attack was good too.
I thought that was just like, what the fuck is happening?
They're all pretty good. The producer mom, like, we don't see her get it because she like walks up to this priest, I guess. But we see her dead. She's hung from the ceiling and she's bleeding out, and it's like, you can't walk. How the fuck did you get her up there?
How'd you get up there? Did somebody like chuck you up there? What? How? Huh?
That's where he hides his fresh meat.
Yeah, that's the meat locker.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, final recommendations, starting with Jackie.
Oh, I'm going to give this a do.
Really?
I don't like zombie movies, but this one wasn't as gross as most of them.
Except for all that middle footage with the tribal people that we all just said. That was pretty gross.
Yeah, like, what the fuck is this? And I was trying to eat nachos at the time, too. And it was just like the worst fucking time in the entire movie to go, like, you know what? I need a little snack. And I got up because, it's on Tubi. So there was like an ad right before all this started. And I was like, okay, great. I'm going to go get some nachos, right? So I get my nachos and I sit back down and it's like, okay, yeah, this is fucking gross. But I really like the rat death. And I thought that the weird pictures of animals and it just doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, really. It's just like they had to put stuff in there to get the movie long enough. But that weird, like, cut it together weirdness, it just kind of works.
Huh. Okay. I'm surprised by that. Sam, we forgot to bring up the Hound Gets the Hair scene. When does the Hound get the hair?
The Hound Gets the Hair is the zombie virus getting humanity. That's the foreshadowing there, is that it can't get away. We see that rat thing early on running, but it just doesn't. Again, you watch it twice and you're like, I think that's what he's going for,
maybe,
but it doesn't really work.
I think we are going to get away from this zombie outbreak because these zombies really suck. I think we'll be okay. If this is the zombie apocalypse, good, because we're going to be just fine. I'm going to give it a don't. I did not enjoy it. It's got its flashes, but too much archival footage, too much B-roll, too much mashing up this into some. Just like, I've got this scene shot. It doesn't have anything to do with this scene over here. I need to film a third scene to tie these two scenes together just so I can make a 90-minute movie. It's almost got something, and it's almost got the something that the Day of the Dead. If Bruno Mattei hadn't made this movie, it could have been good, because there's a single shot in this film as they're driving to the river that I was like, oh man, there was almost a good movie in here, but it's so inept that it can't even do it. But imagine if these guys had been not wankers and not henchmen. Like, they're really elite. Like, they're basically the guys that meet the Predator in the first one. These are the cream of the crop. And you slowly, progressively watch them get broken down mentally over the period of this film. They're physically exhausted, they're mentally exhausted, and they all start having PTSD while still in the situation that gave them PTSD. That would have been a pretty decent movie. But Bruno Mattei is not the person to helm that film. And I think that's where it was supposed to go, but he just was like, no, I'm going to Bruno out. So I just didn't enjoy it. So it's a don't for me. Sam?
I loved it. Yes, you're right. There is a really good idea there, but I don't hold it against the film that it's a complete pooch screw of a good idea. I hold it as the shiny, beautiful object that it is, a giant pile of Bruno Mattei crap. It's random, strange, and it always keeps going, and I love it. It's actually on the short list of zombie movies that I actually like.
Yeah. And then maybe that's my my also biased is I'm just so fucking over zombies. I was about 5 years ago. I was like, I'm done with zombies. I'm sick of them. And that's not this movie's fault. That's everybody being like, oh my God, zombies are so cool. And really, they're not, because you're not getting the idea behind what George A. Romero was trying to accomplish with his zombie films. They're not about zombies, assholes.
They're about the coronavirus.
Yeah, right. So, like, that's again not this film's fault. Maybe why I don't like it, but I'm just sick of zombies. So, give me some more Dracula.
Well, speaking of which, it is my pick next week.
Okay, what you got for us?
I found a movie with Bruce Campbell in it that has vampires.
Okay.
And it's called Sundown.
Oh, yes. Terror at Mountain High or something like that. Terror on the Mountain. It's also got David Carradine in it.
Yeah.
David Carradine's the lead bloodsucker, so that should be fun. Currently streaming on
Amazon
Prime. Before we wrap up, we got some listener feedback. Got a email from probably a longtime listener, first time writer, JM. JM says, "Hey y'all."
Hey Jim.
JM.
Jam. I'm trying to.
Gem and the holograms. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you disconnect your voicemail? I was buzzed and pumped to leave a message, but it kept saying user busy. Yeah, no, we didn't. Google did. Because in order to have a Google voice, you have to make a certain amount of phone calls every month. And who are we going to call? So I just let it expire. So yeah, we don't have a phone anymore. I don't even. You must have listened to one of the old episodes where we said the phone number because I took it off the website even. So if you're trying to call us, just email us.
Oh, that's too bad.
Well. You want to call each other on the Google voice just so we have it? Because I don't,
No,
actually.
I really don't. Anyways, I'm still listening, and I appreciate the Tango and Cash rerun. Oh, maybe that's where it was from. That shit is classic, straight bonkers, bad action. Rest assured, on my voicemail, my Jack Palance impression would have been inserted here. Let me do that for you. Sit on my face. Yeah.
Okay. Is that what it says?
No, that's my Jack Palance. Hey, get right up there and sit on it.
If you want to send us a voicemail, you can. Just record a memo with your phone and send it to the email. We'll play it.
Yeah, that's a good way of doing it, too. So just letting you know, I'm still out here listening and hoping for a recommendation to be covered by you guys. Here it is, the 1991 Chuck Norris vehicle, the Hitman. I put this somewhere between Lone Wolf McQuade and Delta Force. Good action. Chuck's hair is the perfect grease mullet, great one-liners, and Michael Parks kills it as the villain. Be on the lookout for hilarious and inappropriate one-liners and solid practical effects, and also implied Chuck Norris cunnilingus.
What?
Mustache ride.
This one's been in my back pocket for a while. It's down there with Cemetery Man and coming at you. One of these days, I'll pull the trigger on it.
Yeah, don't listen to him.
He's
JM.
lying.
He's a liar, as we established at the beginning of this podcast.
We'll never ever do it.
Fake news.
Fake news. Remember to keep up the wonderful and sometimes wonderfully awkward work. Some new Nick Cage recommendations to follow. P.S. I'm a boring bullshit fan. So there you go, Sam. A little shout out to you, buddy.
After 7 years, someone finally liked the research.
The only actual person that does legwork on this podcast gets a hey, buddy, nice one.
I don't know how thorough he was, though, this week. I mean, he didn't have, that actor's name with the big balls.
Right.
I didn't know. But you know how much fucking digging you have to do to find out anything about a Bruno Mattei movie? I mean, come on.
You even call up Bruno, and you're like, hey, can you tell me about this movie? And he's like, what? I don't know anything about that movie. God damn it, Bruno.
Also, I'm dead.
Yeah. I'm a zombie. All right, guys, enjoy your week. Get to the chopper.
Fans of Stinker Madness, iTunes thinks you don't like us. What? How is that possible? Well, it's because you haven't given us a review yet. Go to Stinker Madness on iTunes and take just a couple seconds to rate and review us there. While you're at it, hit up Stitcher.com as well. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter @/Stinker Madness and email us at talk@stinkermadness.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening and get to the chopper.